conspiracy. The government sent a team of gunmen to Tennessee. The government consider King their #1 enemy. The rich and he gets in the office, he gives permission to officers to put us all in prisons and coffins. Bill Clinton built prisons for profit, but Ronald Reagan brought us in narcotics. That's what hit us the hardest. That's when retarded in California. Crack transformed us from Black Panthers to savages on the corner with bandanas. After that it was over, we ain't never recovered. That's the reason we be killing each other.
Prior to Gabe Leland being reelected, I warned our people, particularly the people in District 7 in our community, that he was a total fraud, that he did not represent the interests of our community. Our city officials took property that was confiscated for foreclosures based on economical distress, and they created a policy and an ordinance and a law to give that property to themselves. Take $10 million out the general school fund in order to go towards funding this police force.
Man, they making a mockery out of us. We start Monday, we going to the board and demand that they stop allotting funds to this place.
Of some of the campaigns that you've been on advocating for the residents of Detroit. Now, you were getting, something off your chest to me that I following that clip. I want you to just go ahead and get across what it is that you feel like we need to know about being effective in city government.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, brothers and sisters that's listening, thanks for tuning in. I hope that in tuning in, we come out with, it's like a huddle. Football teams don't go to the huddle and lead a huddle and don't work. They make the play, they huddle up, make the play, and they go out and they execute. So we here to present the play so that we can execute collectively. Now, I have my personal dealings that I have championed with our various different city council members, and I'm going to go through the various local government to explain my dealings with the local government so we can understand who is with us and who is against us. But first I want to say this. Currently, it's a deal going down in Detroit, which is the Ford deal. People understand this. This is not Ford first time getting funded through our tax dollars. This is not Ford's first time having the residents' dollars pay rent towards their facilities. They are constantly running the same game on us, each city council, each administration. It's just like this. If you continue to allow somebody to rip you off, they will continue to rip you off. We as a people have been continuously allowing them to rip us off. For the last 20 years, the city has paid $75 million out the residents' fund to fund Comerica Park and Ford Field. And we getting nothing in return. Both of them was allowed in the last deal to keep total revenue, and they're allowed in this deal to keep total revenue. So understand this, brothers and sisters. This is nothing new that's going on with us being milked and fleeced by the people that's supposed to represent us. Now I'm going to explain the various different city government that's right here in Detroit and who they are so we can all know. As I said last week, it's 7 city council members that cover 7 districts, and it's 2 city council members that's at large. I'm going to start off with the at-large members. Brenda Jones is one of the longest serving city council members. She is an at-large city council member. Now, Brenda Jones straddles the fence, meaning that some of her voting, first off, listen, brothers and sisters, we have to determine how they represent us based on how they have voted for us on deals that affects us and how they manage the money that we pay through our local tax dollar. That is the only way that and the actuality of our community, which is what we see in the disparity and the disaster. So that should show us misrepresentation. But also on the paper, on the deals that's been made that could have benefited the community that's having, that show you how people represent you and who they really represent. Because it's either going to be simple as this. They either represent the people's interest or big business interest. Now, most of the deals, besides the 50% discount, and now Brenda Jones just signed with this Ford deal, which was a no-go. So she's straddling the fence, but for the most part, she signs deals in favor of the community. She was behind the original community benefit deal, her, Rashida Talibi, and a couple more groups, and the other portion of the city council went against her. So Brenda Jones straddles the fence, meaning she is salvageable, okay? Salvageable means that we can work with her if we build a force with her. Now, Janae Ayers, she was never elected by the people, okay? She was appointed by the mayor and the city council, which is a no-go because this is an elected office. These people is put there in order to represent the interests solely of the people. So that right in itself has been a no-go, her not getting that position by being elected by the people. But not only did she not get elected by the people, but every vote she has made since she's been in there, from the community benefit agreement that was against the people, to the 50% discount that was against the people, to the Ford deal that was against the people, to the demolition project that was against the people. So she have totally voted against the people. So she is totally against us. She cannot be salvaged. So that's Brenda Jones and that's Janae Ayers. Those are our two at-large council members, meaning that they covers the whole city of Detroit. They supposedly represent the whole city of Detroit. Now,
can I ask a question?
Go ahead, brother.
Because you've covered a lot of information. So, to be fair, when you say a council member should be removed or a council member, you know, is a bad representative for us, you're giving us concrete reasons as to why. So, you said based on Brenda Jones' voting record, she straddles the fence. And an example of that is a Ford deal that you just said we've been getting ripped off by Ford. That's the history of Ford's deals will assist to rip us off. But on the other hand, she signed a community benefits act that would have actually benefited the people. So she's shown that she could go either way.
That's right.
Whereas you say Janae Ayers was appointed. She was never elected to begin with. She was appointed, which is
an elected position.
Right, which is wrong because that position is only way you're supposed to get that position is through being elected.
Correct.
So to be appointed to that position is wrong and crooked.
That's a stacked deck within itself.
And so for her to get appointed, elected later on is really null and void for the fact that she was appointed. Well, who was she appointed by? The mayor?
She was appointed by the mayor and the city council after a council member left to go pursue greener pastures because she got lifted up through her dealings in the city.
Right. So the main point is that she doesn't deserve to be there because she was appointed. She wasn't fairly elected.
That's one thing, but after she was appointed, when
and
she
then,
had an opportunity
on top of that,
show that she represents the people.
She went totally for business favor.
She showed what's wrong with appointed position. She moved strictly in favor of those
business.
who appointed her, which is Mayor Doug.
Okay. So she hasn't been a representative for the people's favor.
Not at all.
And that's on top of the fact she's not supposed to be there in the first place.
That's right.
So those are fair reasons to give, regarding your
not
conclusion.
Not including the 50% discount, all the things. Those are fair reasons to conclude that she does not represent the interests of the people.
Now, when it comes to the 50% discount, let's be clear. We're talking about the city council passed a measure to give themselves 50% off of real estate and property that's owned by the Detroit Land Bank.
Correct.
And the Detroit Land Bank is appointed by the city council.
That's right.
So
that again.
We're talking about crooked politics to cut straight to the point. It's illegal to use your city government power to create a benefit for yourself directly like that.
It's totally illegal. But let me touch on this one point so brothers and sisters can understand about they fight out here. The reason I said it's important that we understand that hollering and going to the meetings, talking to the city council is like talking to this wall.
Right.
Most of the meetings we go through, the decision has already been made.
Right.
So how you come and get our opinion on something when you have already made a decision on it? That's a stacked deck within itself. So we have to understand when you have going to those meetings, they have already shown that they are working against us. So the next moving forward strategy is to gain how many voters that's dissatisfied with the way in which they are voting. It's like this. If one continues to vote that's not in your favor, why would you vote for them?
Right.
And if they continue to vote,
Why would you argue with them?
Or why would you argue with them continuously about the same thing that they have showed you that they doing against us? Let's make a move on it. Avoid going through the letdown of hollering at the wall when you talking to these people.
And that statement is based on, like what that clip showed, for those of who saw it at home. And then we've got these different examples, like I showed you in the last show, of the issues that he's going down and spoke to representatives personally, and he was able to, and I dealt with them too. Once I joined what he was doing, I dealt with them too, and I saw for myself. So
They
that
selling the
conclusion,
people straight out.
that statement that you just gave is based on the fact that you've already been there and done that, basically. And now you're explaining what you've learned about our representatives. You've already covered Brenda Jones and Janae Ayers, who are the two at-large reps, but then we have 7 more district council reps, and understand that all of them are guilty of signing that 50% deal.
With the exception of Roy McAllister.
All right.
He knew.
And Roy McAllister is new, and he's
he already starting off wrong. I had a personal dealing with him last week. Me and him talked extensively about him signing away that community center in District 2. And what he gave, I'm gonna just say this, I'm gonna conclude 2 things. Either he is incompetent or he's a sellout. We're gonna have to decide the 2. Now we're gonna give that he's incompetent so that he can learn, or that means he can't learn if he's incompetent or he don't know what he's doing. But if he sold out, then we in a bad situation. And as of right now, the direction that he going in, he signed away that community center. The excuse he gave was bogus. He said we don't have the personal funds in order to uplift our own community. I say that's bogus. I say we got hundreds of millions that's unaccounted for between Marathon, Olympia Arena, Ford, Advanced Disposal, Rizzo, Comerica Park, the Illages. We got hundreds of millions. Not only that, we paying taxes and rent to fund an arena that we don't get nothing back every month.
You talking about
the Downtown District Authority pay $250,000 for maintenance at Comerica Park, and they pay $125,000 a month for rent at Ford Field. We don't get none of the proceeds come. This been going on for the last 20 years. So when people talking about this new deal, they just operating like they been operating.
And when McAllister says we don't have money, that's because they aren't making
giving
sure
it
that
away.
they aren't making sure that the contracts are honored to benefit the city of Detroit. It's only benefiting big
He ain't
business.
fighting for the money. He ain't looking for the money.
He just saying we don't have
That's
money,
right.
even though you can point clearly where the money is at.
I told him where the money was at when he told me that we don't have money to uplift, just the same as James Tate. He told me he gonna send me a budget.
James Tate, who is he the council member?
He the council over District 1.
Okay.
And as all of them singing the same songs that we don't got money to do X, Y, Z to benefit the people, but they study giving millions to the big business.
Right.
Now, we keep talking about this, okay? As a people, we keep talking about this. So it's an action that we can take. It is a solution to this problem. But I want to state this for a lot of the brothers and sisters. Understand this. They have various different boards that our city council and our mayor appoint people to.
Right, you were just
the
talking
water
about
board,
the DDA.
the board of commission, the DDA, the zoning board, the planning division, and when you go the board of ethics, all these people are appointed by the mayor and the city council.
Right.
So when you having a problem with your water bill and you hollering at Gary Brown, you got a problem with your mayor. Okay.
Right.
Gary Brown is not elected by the people.
He doesn't
He's appointed,
serve you.
That's right. He's appointed by the mayor. He serves the mayor.
And the mayor is supposed to serve you.
That's right.
So therefore, your approach is supposed to be to the mayor, not to any board member.
He has no service to you.
The only point in going to a board meeting is to galvanize everyone there with common interests.
That's
but
right.
as far as arguing your point or getting something accomplished with the representatives that are there, that's a moot point. The only point of really attending those meetings is for us to come together, physically and start doing things on the grassroots level. And the first thing that we should be doing on the grassroots level is showing our political strength by doing things like recalling Gabe Leland, who is district number 7. Now he's been federally indicted for corruption.
All his votes has been totally against the people. Plain and simple, the only people on that board, on that city council that's salvageable is Mary Sheffield,
and that's in District 5.
Castellano Lopez,
and that's in
and
District
Brenda
6.
Jones. Those are the only ones that's salvageable on that board. The mayor is totally unsalvageable. He have totally showed us, not just as being mayor of the city, but when he was Deputy Wayne County Executive. He been mismanaging funds. He been operating in cronyism. He's been rigging bids. It's been going on for years. That's why a mayor from Livonia would spend his whole career in an all-black city, coming from an all-white city.
Make no mistake, Mayor Duggan not going to make it through another election if we keep going in this direction that we're going. I'm talking about everybody that's watching me at home or watching me on Facebook Live. We see the direction that we're turning in, and we're becoming more and more powerful all the time. So 2 years from now, these people that we're naming, they won't stand a chance. So let's finish going through. You covered everyone except District 3 and District 4.
District 3 is Scott Benson. He's a double down. Everything against the people. First off, that's one of the worst districts. He a man out of San Francisco, California. He works strictly. He's down here, clearly my people, to work on behalf of big businesses.
Right.
Do not believe nothing I say. Only thing you do is go down to the city clerk's office and get any of his votes and see how they benefited the people in any kind of way.
The reason that they're getting away with this is because they're doing it secretly. This is the first time somebody has really named the council members and explained whether they are voting for the business interest or for the people's interest. And as long as we continue doing things like this, the community will react. You will react. You will react.
Let me tell you how. Let me tell you why he totally got to go. Brenda Jones, council member Brenda Jones, Rashida Talibi, and a couple more activists had formulated a community benefits agreement in which there was supposed to be put into place in order to benefit the communities when large development projects is transpiring in our city.
Well, there's a lot of those going on.
And it's a lot of them going on. Her saying that, look, if it's $15 million, y'all got to engage the community.
So Jones was for $15 million. If they make $15 million of revenue, they have to engage.
If the development exceeds $15 million, they have to engage the community.
Okay.
Scott Benson turns around and see his colleagues putting together this for the community, this represent the community. He runs and draws ones on behalf of the businesses that say that they don't have to engage us until they reach $75 million. As if, are you rich enough yet, boss? For real.
So Jones's proposal was for them to engage us after $15 million, and Benson, who was a district councilman of District 3, came up with a totally different proposal
saying we don't
to favor. That's an example. That's an example of favoring business interests. That's an example of favoring business interests over our interests.
He had the clerk work with it, because listen, ask yourself this question as residents: who in their right mind as a community would vote for that?
So the city clerk is who?
The city clerk is Janice Winfrey. So the people in that sense, they was tricked. A lot of them didn't know.
So you're saying Janice Winfrey, the city clerk, did something to trick the ballots?
I'm saying that it wasn't, the ballot wasn't presented clearly enough where people totally understand. And that's how they plan on our people.
They've done that
numerous times.
So this is something they have a record of doing
Uh,
down
it's-
at the city clerk's office.
It's a concrete way of doing business here in Detroit when it comes to our election. And as I said to you, and I say this all the time, and I say this to our people, they capitalize off our ignorance.
Right.
I'm talking about they bank on it and they play on it and they count on it in everything that they do. But let me tell y'all one thing. They underestimate our intelligence, and that's what's going to work in our favor. We have to get intelligent in order, and when it comes to this local voting.
Intelligence just means information, and this is the type of information we need in order to know what we're voting for and why we're voting,
And who we voting for,
who we're
for sure.
voting for, and who we're getting rid of. So, who's district number 4?
District number 4 is Andre Spivey.
Okay, Spivey.
Yeah.
And
And Andre Spivey, just as Scott Benson and James Tate, they have voted for everything on. I'm gonna put it like this to sum this up. Anybody who voted for the community benefit agreement that Scott Benson
the
wrote up,
$75 million proposal.
they have to go. Plain and simple, they are unsalvageable. And I'm gonna name them. It was Janae Ayers. This is what made them. Janae Ayers, Scott Benson, Andre Spivey, James Tate, and Gabe Leland. That's what made the 5 on the vote of the 9. All them has to be replaced in order for us to build a city that is going to empower the people.
Because they are the ones that's working in business interests.
Them and the mayor. Let's not forget.
Them and the mayor.
The mayor is the wizard of the whole operation. I'm gonna tell y'all this. He is an attorney, so he knows well how to hide the fire but show you all the smoke. Understand that? He know how to hide that fire, but you see the smoke everywhere. It's been nothing but smoke going on ever since he have operated in all the positions, from the prosecutor's office to the DMC and to the Deputy Wayne County Executive Office with the Malice Green case here. Yeah, he was intricate in that too, and he wasn't with the people then. So he got a long history of raping the people, manipulating the people, capitalizing off the people. Brothers and sisters, we cannot be ignorant to this guy no more longer.
So let's be clear about what's going on right now. The mayor and the city council are working in business interests. When we say business interests, we're talking about the Little Caesars Arena. We're talking about Ford Field. We're talking about Comerica Park.
Pistons. All of them got money recently.
Now we see all of this development going on downtown mostly. And what we explained in the last show was that Detroit was awarded a lot of money. We're talking about close to $1 billion in funds from the federal government to help us recover from the foreclosure crisis. The money was intended to be to help people pay their mortgages, but what they ended up doing was using their money for demolition, which made it more attractive for companies to come in and rebuild.
I'm gonna say this to the people: if we act now, they haven't spent all that money.
Right,
they
have
got $100 million left that they can do the right thing.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
If we don't act, they're not gonna do the right thing. They're gonna continue to the demolition and use that funds.
If we don't make this TV show,
right now,
if we don't go Facebook
they
Live,
got $100 million
if we don't
left.
show you this information, if we don't show you this Detroit Future City book, then that's how they get away with everything they do, by nobody exposing them. That's what we're doing right now.
Let me tell you what they said.
I want to
give you an example of what they said. Let me tell the people what they said. I filed a Board of Ethics complaint on all the city council members, including the mayor. And this is why when I communicate with y'all, I can tell y'all from my personal experience, this is how I learned that the deck was stacked and what we have to do to properly defend ourselves and fight against them. They send you to, at the Board of Ethics here, they send you to all the people to hear complaints on them, and they appointed every one of them. So they told me that they sent the thing denying my complaint against them, saying that I didn't file a complaint in enough time. Basically, it wasn't about whether what they was doing was illegal, whether it was right or not wrong. They saying, hey, you ain't see it in enough time, and you should have seen this. We told you about it. You should have told us it was wrong then. Not changing nothing, not doing nothing. That's what type of things is going on down there. So that's why when I communicate with my brothers and sisters about the dealings with them and about the direction in which to go, I can speak on that because I knew the direction that I went in that led me nowhere. So we can avoid that and get to the nitty gritty, and that's getting them out of there, plain and simple. Go, put the power back in the people.
We've named them, and we're explaining that their operation method, talking about the mayor and the city council and the city clerk even. Their operation method is to work in the big business interests. It's been going on since the foreclosure crisis. They jump-started their development, the redevelopment of the city using federal funds that were supposed to be used to aid us.
That's
supposed to be used to help us from stop us from losing our property. So that's where it all starts, and we're seeing now that it'll continue as long as we try to go confront board members instead of confront the mayor, go confront appointed electives instead of confront the city council. And when I say confront, I mean vote against them. I mean organize against them right now.
That's right.
We named District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Those are districts that need to start organizing right now to get rid of your city council member.
And the whole city need to be organized to get rid of the mayor. Can't nobody from the urban sector, they talk about the mayor, can't nobody from this urban sector come in here and tell us nothing he have done to collectively benefit us as a people. Nothing he have done to champion poverty in this city, homelessness in this city, incarceration in this city, any of the things that affects the majority here.
Everything that you give him credit for is
benefit somebody else.
Is money that was supposed to be used for us. Everything that the voters and the Duggan loyalists give him credit for, that was money that was supposed to be used to directly benefit us.
And it's $100 million
now it's
still out there.
It's only being used to benefit businesses and corporations with no tax return, no tax benefit. No money being raised on our behalf.
Again, brothers, tune in, and sisters, thank y'all for tuning in. Any questions, any comments, get with us. Ain't no question cannot be answered. We can answer them because we got the facts.
Government killed King, the gun that really killed King wasn't recovered because it was a conspiracy. The government sent a team of gunmen to Tennessee. The government consider King their #1 enemy. The rich and this it gets in the office, it gives permission to officers to put us all in prisons and coffins. Bill Clinton built prisons for profit, but Ronald Reagan brought us in narcotics. That's what hit us the hardest. That's when retarded in California crack transformed us from Black Panthers to savages on the corner.